We all know how strong Jorge Prado at this moment is. He's a leader in mixed GP class. Due to the injury, Jeffrey Herlings is not able to compete for the championship title this year. But let's go back to 2016, when 15-year-old boy Jorge Prado challenged multiple motocross champion, the Bullet, Jeffrey Herlings. The 2016 Mixed 2 class belonged to Jeffrey Herlings. He was the assured leader of the championship standings. But in the second race of Netherlands, young gun Jorge Prado showed the world his talent, keeping the Bullet behind him. Like you know, Jorge Prado is a whole shot machine, so like always, he won the start and was the leader of the race. So, Jeffrey Herlings wasn't so easy to fight against Jorge. In the first lap, Jeffrey Herlings was in third position, and he quickly wanted to take control of the race in his own hands. In the second lap, Jeffrey Herlings was already in the second place, and his new target was young boy Jorge Prado, but the whole fight was still waiting. I think you all thought that fair would be a quick pass. Jorge Prado started in the Mixed 2 World Championship, winning the qualifying race. Herlings raced a battle, but what he managed to do was break the engine in his eagerness to pass the young Spanish gun. The 15-year-old boy rider Jorge Prado exceeded all expectations in his debut at the Mixed 2 World Championship by taking the podium as the third place in Assen. Sunday down the pouring rain in the Dutch town, and the sand became a slippery and dangerous mud that forced the man from Lugo to be cautious with that he could not overcome the 12th position at the finish line. Already in the second race, after a few hours of sun and the passing of several races, the track was drying up, and only his teammate and World Cup leader, Jeffrey Herlings, was able to keep with the Galician, who after the second place achieved the exceptional milestone of being the winner box. Jorge Prado was riding really smart and fast, closing corners technically, as he had accumulated a lot of experience, like a champion. But he was only 15, and his body wasn't really strong like other guys in this class. He was much younger than others, and then Jeffrey Herlings is racing behind you. It works physically really so hard. Jeffrey Herlings several times tried to overtake Jorge Prado, but the young Spanish talent was not willing to give up the lead easily. Jeffrey Herlings was all dirty and frustrated, but in lap 6, Jeffrey Herlings managed to pass Jorge Prado and control the entire race, building up a huge gap. Both riders, Jorge and Jeffrey, love sand tracks, so it was nice to watch their riding technique on this track. In the first race, Jeffrey Herlings had problems at the start and was only in 11th position the first lap, but he managed to get up to the second place at the end of the race, leaving Covington Thomas more than 20 seconds ahead. Jorge Prado was only in 12th position because the track was sticky and heavy, and for a young rider it was too hard to race.
And he will start getting a little bit annoyed, and he needs to keep a cool head because Jeremy Seawer.
This race was the beginning of Jorge Prado's great career. His rival that day was not just a rider, that was a bullet. He showed the world that he has a lot of talent and potential, and what we see today is a reflection of all of that. Jorge Prado is a whole shot machine, and if he gets a whole shot, it is very difficult for everyone to catch him, even Jeffrey Herlings. However, the Bullet's entire career is accompanied by injuries, and there is no consistency, but he's unbelievably fast, and he's one of the fastest riders on this planet. This year probably will be the first Jorge Prado career when he wins the MXGP championship. Okay, so he doesn't win many stages, but he's very stable and constantly on the podium.
As it stands at the moment, Herlings coolly takes a tear-off as he swings around the outside of that right-hander, looking to line up Prado here. I wouldn't be...
So, like I said before, this race was an example of our new generation and talents. Jorge Prado debut was awesome, and he reached in his debut 3rd place. And that was unbelievable to watch, how Jeffrey Herlings struggled on him.